Let's talk about the world's oldest profession, prostitution. Yep, we're diving into a subject that's been around since humans figured out how to trade things. Today, we'll take a fun journey through history and discover some surprising and maybe even shocking facts about how prostitution has evolved over the centuries. Let's start in ancient Mesopotamia. Fun fact number 1. In Mesopotamia, prostitution was actually considered a sacred duty. Priestesses would participate in what was called sacred prostitution to honor the gods and ensure good harvests. Imagine that on your resume. Ancient Greece wasn't left out of the game. The Greeks were big fans of, shall we say, professional relationships. In fact, they even had high-class courtesans called hetairai, who were known for their intelligence and social status. These women attended high society events and discussed philosophy. Talk about multitasking. So basically, the hetairai were the original influencers of their day. And then there's ancient Rome, where things got spicy. Prostitution was legal and regulated, with brothels popping up all over the place. Fun fact, Roman brothels used a kind of menu system where you'd pay for different services. Talk about organized. Cut to fact 4, the Middle Ages. Fast forward to the Middle Ages in Europe, where prostitution was still around but had a complicated relationship with society. The church didn't approve, but kind of looked the other way because, well, it was considered a necessary evil. In some places, brothels were even run by local governments. Nothing says public service like a medieval brothel. Cut to fact 5, Renaissance Venice. Venice during the Renaissance took things up a notch. Courtesans were not only accepted but celebrated. They were educated, wore incredible outfits, and could mingle with the elites. They were practically celebrities. Cut to fact 6, Wild West America. Let's hop over to the Wild West. Believe it or not, some towns in the US had more brothels than schools. Prostitution was a booming business in mining towns and frontier cities. Some madams, like the famous Molly Johnson, became super wealthy and were respected in their communities. Now, Victorian England was full of contradictions. Prostitution was everywhere, but nobody wanted to admit it. Laws came into place to control it, leading to secret fallen women houses, where women were supposed to be rehabilitated. It was like the era's worst-kept secret. I cut to fact 8, World War II era. During World War II, the profession had a new role. Soldiers visiting brothels became common, with official brothels set up for morale purposes. Yep, it was part of the war effort. A cut to fact 9, 20th century legalization. In the 20th century, some places started to legalize or decriminalize prostitution. Amsterdam's red light district and Nevada's legal brothels are examples of how societies adapted, hoping for safer practices and regulation. Cut to fact 10, today's scene. And finally today, we see a shift toward online platforms and a push for better working conditions for sex workers. There's a lot of debate around it, but technology has certainly changed the game. Outro host, smiling at the camera. So there you have it, a journey through the wild, strange, and surprising history of prostitution. Whether it was in temples or saloons, brothels, or online, this profession has been shaping society since the dawn of civilization. If you enjoyed this dive into history, subscribe and tell us what topic you'd love to explore next.